Text. This video may be confronting to some viewers. It refers to family violence. In this video, we meet Nicole, a woman who uses a manual wheelchair. She has long blonde hair she wears pulled back and a long fringe. Nicole has tattoos on her neck and forearms, and she wears dark-rimmed glasses when reading. She's interviewed outside her home in bright daylight and pictured in bed working on her laptop, in her living room, in her kitchen, and in an ABC television studio. Text. Act 1. Refinding Who I Am.
My name is Nicole Lee and I'm a survivor advocate of family violence and the violence that I lived with went for 10 years. I didn't know whether or not I'd ever be who I am today. If I went back to that point in time, I can't actually imagine that this would be my life right now. Since escaping all of that and refinding who I am, I've come into the world of advocacy and activism on behalf of, myself and trying to represent women with disabilities who are facing family violence and trying to bridge together the two sectors, the disability sector and the family violence sector. As I'd escaped violence, I was starting to refine who I was and what I wanted to do. Study was one of the things that kept popping up for me. I didn't think that I was very smart for many, many years. I also have dyslexia. My spelling is atrocious. But then realising that I am actually capable of doing this stuff and learning and writing essays and sitting exams, and that I really love acquiring new knowledge and understanding concepts. And the beautiful thing that I've gotten from university is learning about different things, learning about different concepts and theories and making sense. So putting them in place and making sense of my own life experiences as well. And that's been really cool to be able to unpack what you've been through using theory and different concepts from psychology. So I decided to choose Bachelor of Human Services, Masters of Social Work. It felt like the right direction, and since starting that I've realised I don't actually want to be a social worker. I don't want to do frontline work. I really enjoy changing policy and working on policy, changing the landscape for the workforce to be able to do their job better.
Text. Act 2. Respectful relationships.
After leaving the violence, I was a single mum for a couple of years and learning and realising that all the horrible things that had been said to me, that I wasn't capable and I wasn't a good enough parent, were all untrue.
Nicole sits on the floor of her living room playing with her grandson.
When finding my ability to be there for my children again was something that I did for quite a while, and gaining confidence to be on my own in my own home for the first time in many years, and that the whole world wasn't going to come crashing down around me, that I could hire support workers to come in and help me find and regain my independence.
A man leans on a kitchen counter next to Nicole, chatting.
My partner and I have been together about 4 years now. He came along at a point where I think I was about ready to give up dating, and I didn't think relationships could actually be this happy and respectful. But we dated for probably about a year and didn't let him around to my house or anything like that, and we kept our lives very separate until I regained that trust in another person again, to invite them back into my life and my home. I just figured that all couples argued, and I figured that the horrible things that we're told with disabilities in our lives is that, we're difficult to look after, or we're a bit of a burden. And, when you hear people praising carers, because we cause so much work and, distress, that none of that was actually true until, I had to learn it for myself by being in a relationship with somebody that just didn't feel any of those things or express any of those things, and we're completely equals. Most of us need somebody with that kind of level of compassion who's just patient and can just sit beside you. They don't need to save you. They're just there with you, so you're not going through it alone.
Text. Act 3. Speaking out. Screenshots from a website titled The Orange Door. Highlighted text reads, "The Orange Door welcomes people of any age, gender, sex, sexuality, culture, religion and ability."
I've gotten to work with design teams for the new support and safety hubs, The Orange Door, that the government's rolled out to make sure that they're inclusive of people with disabilities. The Orange Door is a one port of call for somebody who's facing violence, where they can go to and they'll do an all-over assessment of the person. So before the system, I remember having to call multiple different services and hunting around for somebody to help me. And in all of that, nobody really was able to help me and from a disability perspective. So the Orange Door hopes to change that. Being able to speak out in the media has had a huge impact on being taken seriously when it comes to the advocacy work and the activism work.
Nicole sits facing a camera in a small studio. the Melbourne skyline on a screen behind her.
I think the thing I'm most proud of is speaking on the drum. Being invited there as an intellectual equal and a commentator on serious events has definitely helped the work that I do, and people are starting to notice me and include me more in different events. And I feel proud that I've been able to go into that space and hold my own against other people who've been doing it for a really long time. To begin with, it was a little confronting. I wasn't sure what my role was in all of this. I didn't feel educated enough or smart enough or important enough to be talking about these things. So it took a while to really be comfortable in that space. And this is the thing, I think for a lot of people with disability, depending on the life experiences that we've had, or I guess more the disempowering life experiences we've had, for some of us it takes till much greater age to actually find our voice and to have the confidence to speak out. My hopes for the future, I would love to see people with disability represented more broadly and thoroughly throughout all sorts of different aspects of society, and not just because they need to bring in diversity, but we're included because we deserve to be there, and we're just there like everybody else. And we're not seen for our disability, we're seen for our actual contribution as a person.
Text. Do your thing. Text. Women with Disabilities Victoria. Empowering women. Text. If you've been impacted by this video, support is available. Call Lifeline on 131114 anytime for confidential telephone crisis support. Or call 1-800-RESPECT, 1-800-737-732 if you've been impacted by sexual assault, family violence or abuse.